Hey YouTube Nation, MrEdemia here with another episode of MrEdemia TV. So I've been doing a bit of thinking and trying to figure out what all the fuss is about with this 50 Shades of Grey book, or trilogy or whatever it's called. Um, you know, I keep seeing on like dating websites and profiles and stuff like that, women going on about how they want to meet Mr. Grey or talking about 50 Shades of Grey and all the rest of it. As far as I'm aware, according to a newspaper article I read about it, it's supposed to be, well, it is housewife porn, apparently. But why do women all, if that's the case, right, why do you women, any of my YouTube audience who are women can maybe clear this up, feel free to send me a comment, or, or a private message, whatever. Maybe you can explain this to me, but if it's a case of that it's supposed to be like housewife porn, why do women constantly go on about it? Why do they want to meet a Mr. Grey? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it to the test, I think. I've decided that I'm going to either go into Waterstones, or wherever my nearest bookstore is, and I'm going to buy a copy. Or alternatively, I'll buy a copy for the Kindle, and I'm going to read it, and see what all this fuss is about. And one of these days, someone's going to turn around and say to me, "Oh, I love 50 Shades of Grey." And I can just turn around and say to them, if I've read it, if they say that kind of thing to me, I can just shake my head and go, "You dirty, dirty girl. Dirty girl." Which would be good for a few laughs, I think. I mean, let's face it, any time a guy admits to watching porn or anything like that, the first thing that goes through people's minds is, "Oh, he's a pervert." I'd like to point out, by the way, that I don't watch that, and Dickie Dandruff can attest to that, because he knows how I'm against that kind of thing. I'm not prude or anything like that, but that kind of thing is better off behind closed doors, you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see what kind of reactions I actually get if I do that. Also, as I say, I just kind of want to see what all this fuss is about. Everyone's been going on about it. It's the same with things like the Hunger Games and all the rest of it. I need to kind of catch up with that at some point as well, because everyone's talking about that. But this seems to be the main point of contention, is this 50 Shades trilogy. So I really do need to find out what all the fuss is about. And who knows, maybe I'd actually be able to figure out how women work in a way, get into their mindset. It'd certainly be helpful if, especially in a speed dating. So I'm not long back in from Edinburgh today. There's a wet, windy, dreary day. Of course, all the umbrellas were out, and so were the Muppets. I don't mean literally, I mean the idiots that were walking about with their umbrellas. These people who walk about with their umbrellas tucked under their arm, or they're holding on at the handle, but the pointy end's sticking out behind them, so you try and walk past and they move to the same side and you end up getting stabbed in the leg with the umbrellas and things, or poked in the eye with the bits that hang over the edge, and oh dear me. Yeah, there's a lot of ignorant people today, I believe. Don't think it's called for, to be honest. I mean, if you say excuse me to people, some people, yeah, fair enough, they don't move. Sometimes you have to roar it practically in their ear, which I have been guilty of doing on occasion. But other times, you just say excuse me and people will let you past. That's all you need to do. You don't need to walk through them. It's either that, or my leather jacket makes me invisible. I've got the real world version of Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, which could work out pretty awesome if that was the case, but no, unfortunately not. I mean, the main reason I went into Edinburgh today was I went to go and get myself my new hobby, or the start of it. Magic the Gathering. I still need to see what this Magic Online thing is, but so I went to go and get myself an introductory deck out of Black Lion Games, and unfortunately I didn't really get the colour sort. Well, I got the colour of Magic I wanted to get, but I didn't actually get the actual deck I wanted to get, because there was only one or two left. So I thought I'd just take the first one that comes and start using that. Thankfully, in the booster packs that come with it, though, I did actually get some cards for the actual deck I wanted to get, which for all those who are experienced with Magic the Gathering, is my favourite one is a Janny Gold main. That's who I use mostly when I'm playing Magic the Gathering on the Xbox. If anybody's got Xbox, feel free to add me on there, MrEdemia. So yeah, it was so I'm glad I've got it. I mean, I'm looking forward to having a shot of it. I find out that there's now at least a couple of places I can go. I can do a Monday night Magic in Black Lion Games or a Friday night Magic, but also apparently the Livingston League of Gamers. Big shout out to you guys. Apparently they do it as well on a Saturday, which is pretty cool. So hopefully they'll also do the World of Warcraft trading card game there as well, because I've got that as well. So I've got a full deck of that I can now use. So that's going to be pretty interesting. So it's another hobby for me to get into, something for me to break away from painting models and build models all the time. You know, I love that. I'll never ever stop doing that, to be honest, because that is my main hobby. So I play my guitar and stuff like that. But just sometimes you need a wee break, you know, do something a wee bit different. So, you know, you just love it when you're in the middle of doing something and your mind just goes totally blank. That's what it was. Yes, I'm getting old. My memory isn't quite what it used to be. Starting to sound like the Box 3001 sketch from Ricky Fulton's Scotch and Rye. Do you suffer from would you cry it? Memory loss. Yeah, that's kind of like what I'm like, especially today. So I was sitting watching Warehouse 13 last night. I really am getting right into that programme. Really do love it. Just finished season 1 last night, so I've still got season 2 and 3 to watch, and then I can then catch up with season 4 that I've been recording on Sky. And while I was watching it, an idea actually formed in my head. It just kind of popped in there from out of nowhere, and I've decided I'm going to use it as a way to actually start my book, because I've been kind of to and fro about how to start my fantasy novel. I did write a sort of introductory chapter, so to speak, and I let a couple of people see it. And they both loved it, which was pretty awesome, you know. I don't know if they were just being polite because they know me, or because of my friends, or just because they actually genuinely did love it. But I'm going to change it ever so slightly, and this way I can actually start my book properly. And once I've done that, I can start maybe moving on with other chapters. But yeah, so it's pretty good. So I'm going to start writing that later today. I think I need to actually get into doing my Writers Bureau course as well. I've had that for a couple of years now and I haven't done it, so I'm going to start doing that. I was originally going to start doing non-fiction first, because I thought, well, you know, I could maybe do freelance writing as a proper career. You know, that could be my bread and butter kind of thing. But then I thought, no, you know what? I've been writing since I've been in primary school. I've written about 4 books that most of them, those 4 I've kind of destroyed because someone told me I couldn't write it for one reason or another. Turns out it was all wrong. I could have written them. It's not very nice when an artist has to destroy his work and then finds out that, you know, he could have actually ran with it. But I think I'm actually going to do the fiction side of things, so the Writers Bureau course first. That plus bookrix.com are doing a thing where you can actually get e-published as well. Now I'm not sure if I'm keen on the idea of putting my fantasy novel out there as just an e-published book. I'm thinking I might save that one for hopefully trying to get properly published. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, you know, if I send it to a publisher and they say, you know, you'd be better off doing this as an e-published book, then yeah, cool, I'll do that. I'm not really, as I was trying to explain to Dickie Dandruff the other day when we were in Edinburgh, I'm not into writing for the money side of things. I'm just into it because I love it. I love creating worlds, I love creating scenarios, you know, all that kind of thing. And I would be happy just to share my work with people. If they like it, brilliant. If they don't, that doesn't bother me. You know, at least you've given it a try. Besides, the world would be a really, really poor place if you know, we all like the same things. So a couple of shout outs. Dickie Dandruff as usual, because he commented on my last video, and a big shout out to Sergeant Tellion as well. YouTube.com/Sergeant Tellion, SERGEANTTELION, I believe. I'm sure if I've got to spell that wrong, he'll be the first to tell me. Sergeant Tellion's a good friend of mine from when we were going to the Livingston Games Workshop store. He's brilliant at painting. He enters a lot of competitions and he's won quite a few of them as well, especially in the store and things. So, and he's always entering, trying to enter the Golden Demon and things. So, and he's really good. So check out his videos. He always has some really good videos on there. So yeah. So if anybody out there plays Magic the Gathering and lives in the Edinburgh area, or even World of Warcraft trading card game, then feel free to give me a shout. I'm always up for a challenge. I like to learn how to play the game properly. So yeah, I'll be interested in having some games because I am looking to enter some tournaments and stuff with it as well. Also, if anybody plays it on Xbox, as I say, my Xbox username is MrEdemia. That's MrEdemia. Feel free to give me a shout on there as well. Any comments or feedback or anything on the videos is always greatly appreciated, people. As I said before, I'm just new to this, so still trying to get the hang of editing and clipping and putting fancy stuff on and all that kind of stuff. But if anybody's got any critiques or anything else, and any hints and tips, feel free to pass them this way. As usual, like, subscribe, and any other comments, put them in the comment section below, and we'll see you next time.